Welcome back to the Done Deal Show. Breaking news this evening, which has Chelsea fans excited, Premier League rivals worried, and of course the journalists scrambling around as a deal that seemingly looks like it's advancing is taking shape. Fabrizio Romano revealed, this is the first one here, Fabrizio Romano revealed that Chelsea held talks over a potential deal for Mathys Tel with Bayern Munich in recent days, the early stages of contacts to be informed on the situation. Tel spoke to company 10 days ago as he wants to succeed at Bayern, whilst Chelsea asked for information during the talks with the German club. But since this update from Fabrizio Romano, David Ornstein has said that Chelsea inquire over a deal to sign Tel from Bayern Munich. No guarantee it happens, but Chelsea are interested. Forward a long-standing target. Contact made. Separately, Bayern Munich are exploring a move for Christopher Nkunku. It has now been confirmed by the likes of Plattenberg that Nkunku has decided he wants to join Bayern Munich. A further update from Fabrizio that states Bayern Munich and Chelsea held initial talks about the possibility of a swap deal with players being discussed. Bayern asked for Christopher Nkunku's situation at Chelsea. So in a very, very, very short space of time, it's gone from, they had contact 10 days ago. Nothing much to see here. Just sort of exploratory conversations in many ways to Christopher Nkunku saying that he wants to join Bayern Munich. We've known for a long time as football fans that he's not really happy with life at Chelsea, not getting the game time in the exposure. Young Mathys Tel, who, listen, let's be very honest, left winger, played a number of games as centre forward, hasn't quite had the season this year that many would expect, but the talent of this young man is absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal piece of talent. Young Tel is. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. There is a real prospect here. And if Nkunku wants out and Bayern Munich wants him, I can understand completely why Chelsea are going to explore this. Nkunku can't play out in those wide positions. He's not a number 9, which has been iterated many times by Enzo Maresca. And of course, when it comes to that 10 position, João Felix, I would say, and definitely Palmer have done so much better than him in recent times. So this is a different profile of player for Chelsea. Somebody, though, that could argue maybe isn't an upgrade in the here and now. He's still very young. He's only 19 years of age. He turns 20 in a couple of months' time. But in terms of potential, star quality, and the overarching technical ability of the young Frenchman, this could be an absolutely phenomenal piece of business for Chelsea Football Club. It truly could. I'd love to get your take. I'd love to get your views on this, your opinions in the comment section below. But as stated earlier on tonight, a very, very exclusive from Fabrizio, but quite an okay update. I didn't think anybody thought much of it when I first read this. I saw it an hour or so ago. Thought, okay, they had talks, but 10 days ago, nothing has progressed. Since then, Nkunku confirming via Plattenberg that he wants to join. Confirmation from Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano that talks have taken place between the two clubs about a potential swap deal. It feels now that if Tel can be convinced to join Chelsea, if he's open to that move, the brilliant project that's at Chelsea, that wonderfully assembled now young squad of players, although the profile over the summer was about more experience, you can't turn down these opportunities. The fact that he could be leaving Bayern could be absolutely massive. It really could. I want to get your take. Again, feels like things are advancing. Doesn't mean it will happen. Doesn't mean that it will complete. But I will say this about Chelsea. I will say this. Chelsea really are a serious football club. They are absolutely serious, even when they make mistakes, and they get criticised for them, and rightfully so. I've criticised mistakes that Chelsea Football Club have made in the past, whether it be sacking a manager too early or signing a bad player, whatever it may be. but they always want to get back to the top. They will always go out of their way to try and do what's necessary to get Chelsea back to the absolute peak of their powers. And this deal could be very much part of it. Let's go to some of your comments here. Hearing good things about Tel. Is he good? Look, I've watched him play. So I've only seen him play. I've seen him play against my team. Come on and scored a goal. He's talented. There's so much about him. There's a very, very high ceiling. Last year, I think last campaign, scored 10 goals. The year before that, as a 16, 17-year-old, scored 7 goals. There's quality in there. There's a real quality player. Now, this season hasn't been great for him. Okay, so that may need a little bit of exploration, really, when it comes to Chelsea fans. But there is a real talent. And if you could pick him up in some type of swap deal with Nkunku, who has been very unimpactful in the Premier League, in the major competitions for Chelsea in 18 months, it's worth a punt. Genuinely, he's probably not even going to come in on as much money as Christopher Nkunku. It's really, really, really worth a go. Really, really worth a go. Ben Jacobs, Fabrizio, everyone retweeting and reposting the story. Of course they are, because this feels like it is escalating quickly. Now the journalists will play it down, but it feels we got told that a conversation 10 days ago, an hour ago. Since then, Christopher Nkunku wants to join Bayern Munich. Slow burner. I don't know. A Chelsea fan, and I am buzzing, is what Breezy says here. I bet you are. You should be. And this is what transfer stories are all about. You're meant to get a bit excited about them. Phenomenal player if they pull this off. Young Terry being called Tel by hit the like button, people. Thank you, Luke. Absolutely. Get that like button hit now. Get this shared, please. Update here. Josh Kroenke is on his way to London ahead of the game against Tottenham on Wednesday. Mikel Arteta wants a striker, and he's trying, but it has to be the right player. They're going to have to go and get that done. You know, especially if they see Chelsea do this, especially if Chelsea go out and get a deal like this done, dusted, finitoed over the line. For Arsenal to just sit there on their hands, it would be absolutely crazy. Kieran here says, good player with a high ceiling. Absolutely. I mean, that's probably the best way to describe this situation. Good player with a high ceiling. Absolutely spot on. It really, really, yeah. I couldn't say it better myself. Chelsea spend $1 billion, but still don't stop spending. But my fraud team doesn't want to back the manager, and we have the worst front three. Even Forest have a better front three than us. You know, this is the thing. You always have to spend whether you end up with the best or the worst. At some point, it might be in a year, it might be in 3 months, it might be in 6 months, could be in a year. Sorry, 10 years, probably a little bit too far. You always end up having to respend. And the idea and this sort of weird fallacy that you don't is crazy. You always have to keep spending. And you should never be embarrassed about it. You should never, ever, ever be embarrassed about your club continuing to spend. Unless, like Man United, we kept on wasting it. But I still wasn't embarrassed that we had more money to spend. I knew the money would run out slightly if we didn't get it right at some point. But it's never something to be embarrassed about. Chelsea FC here, one of our members with a super chat, says, in addition to Tel, Liam Delap is of genuine interest to Chelsea. They want the Guru and Hato as well. Look, Chelsea's owners are moving serious, and they have been for a while. And just because you make mistakes doesn't mean you're not serious. And I think that's something that football fans have got to learn to understand. Is they made mistakes in the early. I want to ask a question because I'm not trying to dig anybody out here. But are the likes of Minerals and Co. still referring to Clear Lake as Clown Lake? Have they still kind of got that? Are there still Chelsea fans that are calling them out and slagging them off and saying they don't care about the club? I'd love to understand if people still think it. Terry, Sky Sports reports that the clubs, yes, we spoke about that earlier on the show. You should have watched the top 6. But yes, that news is coming out tomorrow. So that's going to be intriguing to say the least. People constantly moan when their clubs aren't backed. Anyone would love the Chelsea owners right now. Yeah, of course. I think the problem is with the Chelsea situation is people didn't understand what was going on. And the only element I really criticized of theirs, I would say, when they got into the financial difficulties, and they've sailed very close to the PSR wind, but they found a way through it. And you can only say well done to them for that, whether it be the long length of contracts and amortization, the selling of assets. And it's not good they had to sell assets. I think if they could start this process again, they'd buy a lot of young players. I think they wouldn't have wasted all the money they did in that first summer on the Sterlings and the Koulibalys and co. They probably would have had to have sold assets at that point. So they should have got the balance and maybe not so many youngsters straight away. But I could always tell what they were trying to do, and that was spend a lot up front and then develop this young side. They just made some mistakes. But at no point did I feel they weren't being ambitious. At no stage did I think Chelsea were not trying to win. They were just skinning a cat in a different way, I suppose. Owners are still a work in progress. We still got a few players to fix. Absolutely. And I would say that probably signing Tel wasn't at the top of the priority list. I bet when this all comes out in the wash, Chelsea have been told by an intermediary or someone close to Bayern, listen, Christopher Nkunku wants to leave. Bayern has shown interest. Okay, great. Yeah, we've also heard a rumor that Tel could be open to leaving Bayern Munich, and Bayern Munich might allow this to happen. We should inquire about a deal. Now, when I say Tel probably wasn't on the short list, Chelsea probably still need to add more experienced players into this team, 24, 25, 26 years of age. But every now and then, a real brilliant opportunity can arise. And I think this is one of them deals. I really do. Better fits for the squad than Nkunku, and also an upgrade on Mudryk. Good business if it gets done. Get a striker and centre back, and we're moving nicely. Yes, a huge upgrade on Mykhailo Mudryk that just hasn't worked at Chelsea. 2 years at the club, now failed a drugs test. Listen, I don't know what kind of rules Chelsea have got or clauses they've got in their contracts. You probably find they've got a way of reducing what they'll end up doing with him, Chelsea, is they'll have a clause to get out of the deal. There's no way top level clubs don't have these types of clauses with players if they're caught doing something illegal or against the rules of the game, that they kind of their contract terminated. Chelsea probably won't do that because it's bad PR. Young man made a mistake. They will probably reduce his wages significantly during any ban that he gets so that it isn't too damaging to the club, but the player still has an income. And as soon as his ban's over, they'll look to find him somewhere else to play. That would be my guess around the Chelsea situation. And it could be completely ruthless and absolutely kick him out of the football club. We will see. But yes, this is a big upgrade. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. Kieran here says, there's always will be clowns giving out, but you can't say they are not trying to make this team better and improve. At the end of the day, it is a business, but my opinion is they're doing good. Need a striker now. Yeah, look, you definitely need a number 9. I think that as soon as the pressure got on a little bit this season for Chelsea, and you needed to win the games because you were in the title race, and I know there was this game going on. We're not in a title race. What's a title race? Who looks at a league table? I've never heard of such a thing before. We all knew as rivals that was a game. I think Jackson in those 4 matches, the pressure was there, and he just, like we saw with Kai Havertz yesterday, decent player, good player. But when the pressure is really on, are they able to deliver on a constant basis? Maybe, maybe not. I don't think so. I still think Jackson's a very good player for Chelsea and can still score a lot of important goals over the course of a season. But I think he is more a Solomon Kalou, a Malouda. I'm not saying they're all strikers, rather than a Drogba. And I'm using those examples of players that were in and around Drogba. So I think you still need that type of player. I absolutely agree. Ice Palmer here says Chelsea are always lucky to have the owners that are ready to spend money. I hear you there. 40 million for Tel. I mean, it's a really good piece of business if you can pick this young man up 40 million. When's his contract? Let's go and have a look here. This is on Transfermarkt. It says his contract ends. I mean, his contract ends in 2029. Okay. So the fact that he has 4 years left on his deal, if you can pick him up for 40 million, that's ridiculously good. It really is a good, solid piece of business. By the way, if you haven't hit the like button yet, people, get that smashed for us right now. So get the like button smashed, please. Get this shared across your social media platforms as well. Swap deals never really happen. You are right. You are right. I think typically there would always be two isolated. Even if they were announced as swap deals, they were often two isolated deals because clubs like to amortize what they're spending. However, you may find with PSR and FFP that clubs start to do a little bit more of this. Now, I'm not an accountant, so I don't know quite how you would mark it down, but clubs also want to show a sale of a player. You got to remember, so if they sell Nkunku for 30 million, but they buy Tel for 40 million, on the trading accounts for this financial year, it will show a 30 million pound income and maybe only a 7 to 8.5 million pound outgoing. So the accounts always look better for buying than they do. Sorry, better for selling than they do buying. But of course, there is a limit to that in how much you spend. At some point, you've got to slow the spending down. But yes, that is probably what they will do. Why are Chelsea getting Tel? They need an out-and-out striker unless they are getting him to replace. Well, that's exactly what they're doing. I think you've answered your own question there. Mudryk, there's an issue with him. He's not good enough. The ban's coming. Christopher Nkunku can also play in a kind of striker role, but isn't a number 9. Tel covers the Mudryk position. He also covers the 9 position at times as well in the short term. He isn't going to be the main striker, but he can play there. He's played there for Bayern Munich. It makes sense. It's a little bit, I wouldn't call it a fluke or overly opportunistic, but it's one that's arisen. And you'll probably find in terms of the cost of one in and one out around Nkunku and Tel, they'll probably cancel each other off. In fact, they're probably going to save on the salary, if we're being honest. What's he earning at Bayern Munich? Let's go and have a little look at that. Let's have a little search. Bayern Munich salaries. Now, remember, these are slight guesstimates because no one ever publishes this stuff online, but there's estimates to these things. What's Tel earning? He's not going to be a top earner. Well, not bad. 96,000 euros. So what is that? 96,000 euros in pounds. Why won't it let me click on that? It's annoying me. Let's do Google. 96K in euros. Let's have a little look here. No, sorry, 96K euros in pounds. 80,000. So he's on about 80,000 a week. What's Nkunku earning at Chelsea? Let's have a little look here. Some of you probably already know this and you've posted comments, and I'm not looking at the comment section right now. Let's have a little look. Let's have a little butchers at this. He's one of the highest. He's on 195,000. So you might be able to save yourself 50, 60,000 pounds a week in this deal as well. So there's multiple reasons for it. They are still looking at a number 9. Maybe the number 9 they want isn't available this January. Maybe they want to wait until the summer and they're back in the Champions League and can guarantee it. Maybe there's someone that's saying, oh, I like Chelsea, but I need the Champions League football, and I've got to wait on that. But I don't think because of that need and desire, you should turn down the opportunity to sign Tel if it presents itself. Because he's such a talent. And look, he's not the finished article. He is not he's not at the level yet that he wants to be. He wants to become a much better football player. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. But sorry, I was just reading something there. He will become, and he's going to work hard and wants to become a better, more consistent player than he is. A few of you are asking how good is he? He's a top talent. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. And you're right, Josh. Tell everyone to get that like button smashed, please. Just get it smashed. I know a lot of you watch it on your television, so you've got to pick your remote up. It's not as easy as tapping your phone, but get the like button hit right about now, my people. Let's get that done. Okay. Oh, in addition to Tel, Liam Delap is of genuine interest to Chelsea. Let me ask you a question, Chelsea fans. I'd love to get your opinion on this. Tel and Liam Delap. Good, bad, or indifferent? Both highly talented. I would suppose the bad element you could say is the age. There's a lack of experience from those two. But would you be satisfied if that was your January transfer window? Liam Delap has been amazing in the Premier League so far this season, and everybody knows about the young Bayern Munich winger Tel. Quality, ability, has scored goals already in his young career. You bring them into this young team, could be phenomenal. But do you feel maybe there is still a lack of experience and some of the funds should go onto more experienced players? I'd love to get your take on that. I'd love to get your opinions on that, please, in the comments section below. But Sammy McBell putting that out. Interesting. The Undertaker FC says the Chelsea owners won't buy experienced players. They just want to buy young players to make money. But that isn't strictly true, is it? Tosin and Neto, Dewsbury Hall, that hasn't worked out, wasn't particularly young. But you bought quite a few players in the summer that were of a decent age. Let's have a look here. All Chelsea transfers. Let me go on transfer mark and look at this. So in the summer, you didn't just buy kids. Unless my memory is not serving me right. How old is João Felix now? I wouldn't call him. He's 25. Where's Dewsbury Hall? Maybe he's younger than I think Dewsbury Hall. And he's 26. Hasn't worked out, but you spent the money on him. Obviously, we know Tosin is older. Jadon Sancho is not a baby anymore. What's Sancho now? 24? He's 24, going to be 25 this year. So you haven't just been signing kids. Like when you actually go through it, you signed a lot of players 24, 25, 26 years of age over the course of the summer. So I wouldn't even say that it's true that is what you've done in many ways. Jack here says, very good, both pure strikers, and ball technique is amazing. See, do you see Tel as more of a striker? Because the 2 or 3 times I've watched him play, and twice was when he came on again. I've seen him more in the wide areas. I think he came on in the wide area against United. But do you see him more as a striker, Jack? I'd love to get your take on that, my friend. Kieran here says, once again, good player with high ceilings. I don't mind Tel, but would rather a Drogba-like finisher and striker. Hard to get, I know, but that's what we need. I will say this. Delap has looked very experienced and he's looked very comfortable. I actually don't know how old he is. And there's me saying he's really young. Turns out to be 38. How old is he? He's 21. Well, do you know what? I'm gonna bring that back a little bit. He's 21, which is young, and he's about to turn 22. I'm actually gonna pull back everything I said. I've changed my mind. 22 years of age with 100 games. He's played 100 games in various leagues, the Prem, Championship, 100 matches. Came through the Man City Academy. Even played 6 games for Manchester City. I didn't even realize. I don't even remember him playing for Man City, but why would I? I'm a United fan. Came for a Premier League academy, played in the Prem, scored in the Prem, 100 appearances in his professional career, 22 years of age. He's not a baby. The only thing you may add is that he looks a little, maybe with Chelsea and the pressure, he could look a bit younger or feel a bit younger. But yeah, very, very, very interesting piece of business that could be this month. I'd feel though for McKenna because obviously he's got the United connections. I'd love him to do. I want him to do very, very well at Ipswich. But yeah, that would be a little gutting, to be honest with you, if that was to happen. Terry, look at the Nunez rejection. I don't know what that means. Sometimes when you say these things, you've got to direct me to exactly what you want me to look at because I don't know what the Nunez rejection means. Who did he reject and what? You need to give me more detail. I don't know what that means. I think he means pure strikers. Oh, pure strikers of the ball. Okay, that would make sense. Maybe I misunderstood slightly. Misunderstood. The lap is all hype right now because he plays at Ipswich with zero pressure. Yeah, look, I wouldn't say it's all hype and no pressure. There is some, but you are right. It's a very different kettle of fish playing for a club as big and as substantial as Chelsea. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. I still want to know what the fuck this Nunez shit is. Come on, people, tell me. Come on. Oh, you guys. Oh, no, I wasn't saying that Tel was 21. I was talking about the lap. Listen, people. I had a long conversation earlier on today, actually, with the gal, and I was saying that when we do these shows, the amount of times I see panelists or even people in the comments say things that just didn't get said on shows. Oh, how dare you say he's 19, not 22. You guys, those of you said it, you weren't listening. But now you are listening. Get the like button hit. You obviously didn't hear me say that to you earlier either. What is it? Are your like buttons fucking broke or something, people? Let's get that done. Let's get that done, people. Why not? What are we saying here? 70 million rejected by Liverpool. But Ronnie, that still don't help me. That still don't help me. I don't know what you mean. I don't want to be rude, but you've got to give me specifics or tell me where to look. Who bidded 70 million? I can't see it anywhere. Tell me more. Come on, do better. Do better. Now I'm going to have to go onto Twitter and I'm going to have to search it. Stop talking to you guys. You just give me some more details. Come on, people. Do better. 70 million Nunez. Who's the news from? Thoughts on the reports of a 70 million euro bid for... Oh, from a Saudi club. They should accept it. There we go. No, I don't want to read the comments. I want you to... If you're going to send it in, tell me. I will read the comments, but okay, here we go. Al Hilal offered... Wow. I bet Sam is fuming. I bet Hassab is fuming. Oh, from Sam Maguire. I used to have a bit of beef with him. Nothing major. We used to like... He said the weirdest thing ever to me as a football sort of journalist. He once said to me, genuinely, he said, a defender that has to make tackles is not a good defender. The weirdest thing I've ever heard a human being say. There we go. That's how you post it. Post the news so I can see it. Yeah, look, they should be accepting that. They should be accepting 70 million. He's not worth 70 million. They should be biting off that 70 million. You could go and get Osimhen. You could go and get Victor Gyökeres. You actually could go and buy Isak with that money. I know, go, no, he's 150, not 70, but you can spread it. You could turn around and say, do you know what? We'll pay 130. We'll give you 70 million up front and we'll pay the rest off over 2 or 3 years. You're going to turn the player's head. Liverpool are crazy. Liverpool are stupid for not accepting that. Genuinely stupid for not accepting that bid. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. I mean that without even being harsh or horrible or anything along those lines. That is crazy. So we're going to book timestamp that. That is mad. Mad. Crazy people they are at Anfield tonight. Genuinely crazy. How are you not accepting it? Terry missed my chat. Did you super? You didn't super chat. I didn't miss it. I don't read every single comment, but I'll find it. Here it is. Oh, hello, Terry. I hope you're doing fine. It's 4 a.m. in the morning in Bangladesh. I'm enjoying your show. Big up yourself watching all the way from Bangladesh. I've got a lot of good friends from Bangladesh. Where are you from? Dhaka or Sylhet? Let me know what part you're from. It's important you tell me the truth, though. What part are you from, my friend? You might be from somewhere else, or you're near either of them places. I've got a lot of friends that are from Dhaka, I think. Dhaka, yes. I've got a lot of friends. If you're watching, by the way, Suchul, hope you're good, brother. And you, Shah. I know Shah watches. You messing me in now and then. Met all the lads in the bank back in the day. Good people. You're from Dhaka. It's a good part. It's a good part. It's the good part. You know what I mean when I say that as well, right? Quality, mate. Big up yourself and thank you for tuning in. It means a great deal to me. It really, really does. But get the like button hit, people, right now. I know some of you are not doing it because I'm asking, but I'm asking you. Let's get it done. We need an improvement on Jackson and a goal scorer like Kvaratskhelia, but we go for a big potential players. We're buying to be good in a couple of years, neglecting the here and now. An interesting take. How many Chelsea fans agree with this? Oh, is there a here we go on Kvaratskhelia? Is that happened? Or are people just saying that in the comment section? I'm just going to refresh here. Is there a here we go? I can't. Oh, here it go. PSG have reached a verbal agreement in principle with Napoli. Deal in place for 70 million euros plus add-ons after the story was revealed last week. 5-year deal. Yeah, very close to a here we go. Not quite a here we go, but very close to a here we go. Where has Fab said it? Oh, I've just read Fab's tweet. He didn't say here we go. You guys confuse me. Unless my dyslexia is kicking in. Richard Cox here says, even though Tel is young, he's experienced, big experience, mate. Big games, Champions League, Delap and Jackson. I'm happy, and Gahey I want. It's not a bad window. Delap, Tel, Gahey. I think they raised your ceiling. They certainly raised the potential as well of the squad moving forward. So, yeah, excellent pieces of work they could be. Yeah, Fab didn't say here we go. He didn't say it. Come on now. Don't misquote him. Don't agree. I agree with you, Tel. Some of our players are 24, 25. That's not young these days. We just need to buy better players. Simple. Yeah, and I think if you sign Gahey, you sign Tel. Gahey's an improvement. He becomes your best centre-back, and he's very good. Tel's better than Mykhailo Mudryk. He just is. I think he'll have more impact for you than Mudryk and more impact for you than Nkunku, who's only really done it in the Conference League. And if you bring in Delap, look, he scored 8 goals for a much worse team. Could score some goals for you. I think those signings guarantee Champions League football next year. Absolutely guarantee. I don't think you're going to win the league anyway. Even if you went and got Isak, I don't think you'd win the league from this point. Just don't quite think you're ready as a team. So get you Champions League football. You're already going to win the Conference League. You're in the FA Cup. You could win the FA Cup. It could end up being a very good end to the season, and then you get another summer and pre-season with these guys. You've got the Club World Cup thing as well. Haven't really got a pre-season, but I think that's pretty decent. Maradon here says, Chelsea keep buying the same players over and over. Maradon, I respect you, bro, but when there was the last time they bought a Rory Delap, that's his dad, a Liam Delap? When did they buy a young player with the quality of Tel? When did they do that? Show me. You could argue they did it with Caicedo and look how brilliant he looks. You could argue they did it with Carl Palmer and look how good he looks. But they bought no one of that level and age and that profile on the left-hand side. They haven't. Come on now. That hasn't been done. That hasn't been done. Why are Chelsea keep signing youngsters? That isn't true, posted. Not true. They have signed a lot of youngsters, but they signed so many players, 24, 25, 26 years of age in the summer. We've just gone through them 5 minutes ago on the show. So it isn't strictly true that all they do is sign kids. Not from what I can see anyway, but everyone will have a different opinion on that. Yes, the young man. Oh, and Rain, when I say not true, yes, not true. Absolutely. Yes, I know they've signed some other youngsters, but you're ignoring what's going on. You're ignoring what's going on. I don't think he is the same as Tel. I'll tell you why I don't think he's the same as Tel. And I don't want this to come across as disrespectful. But the reason why I don't think he is the same is for one really big and important reason. He doesn't have the exposure or the game time. He's only just turned 17. Sorry, he's on his way to turning 18, sorry. He has no experience of playing in European football as of right now. And his main position is the right wing. He can play on the left, but his main position is the right wing. Predominantly. If you look in his career, I'm looking at his career here. He's played right wing and right midfield in 38 of the games he's played. He's played on the left once. So he plays on the opposite side of the pitch. He's younger and not played in Europe before, where Tel has played in Europe for many years, Champions League. He's a few years older and plays on the opposite side of the pitch. So I don't understand. Yes, and neither of them are coming in to be the first team starters. You've got Neto. You've got Jadon Sancho. These youngsters will then be the backup to these guys. What you'll probably find in the summer, Mudryk with everything going on, and then probably Noni Madueke will be the players that will move on. And then you've got two youngsters backing up two experienced senior pros that are in their mid late 20s, 25, 26, 27 years of age. I don't get what people are saying here. I think you're overstating it somewhat. Time will tell, Terry. You'll see what I'm saying. No. I don't want to see what you're saying. Explain what you're saying. Don't just say, "Oh, you'll see what we mean." Tell me what you mean. That would make a lot more sense, wouldn't it? For you to tell us what you mean. You can't just say Chelsea are signing all the same types of player when they play in different positions. Yes, they sign some young players. Of course they do. But they've signed loads of experienced players too. We've got to tell the truth on this. Sorry, Terry, I meant players who can be leaders. No, listen, this is where I agree with you. I still think they need a few more older players. But I don't think if they get Tel and they get Delat, they're going to end the spending. It might end the January spending, but they're also looking at Mark Gahey, who is 24 and about to turn 25 in the summer. What does Mark Gahey have experience-wise now? Let's go and have a look. Mark Gahey, over 200 games in his career, 4 years solid of playing first-team football in the Premier League, a full England international with 22 caps, led the defensive line at the Euros in the summer. So they're aiming at him as well. And again, Delat's 22. He's young, but he ain't a baby at 22. That'll be two players as we go into next season that will be turning 23 and 26 respectively in those campaigns. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry too much if I was a Chelsea fan. Damasio reporting United wants 70 million for Garnacho. Antonio Conte wants him desperately. I'd be happy with 70 million for Garnacho. Yep, I'd accept it. As long as we go and invest it well, which I'm sure there's a lot of people that think that Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos are not going to spend money at Man United. They're actually fighting and pushing alongside Man City to have the spending caps removed or at least increased. No one would do that if they weren't thinking of spending, because you'd hide behind the rule, wouldn't you, and pretend you couldn't and pretend that your lack of spending was a rule as opposed to your own desires. So yes, I would accept that if it came through. Personally, I would. I really do. We paid 33 million based on how good he will become. It will turn into 60. Fair play. Fair play to you there. Let's have a look at some more comments. Tel will be a good signing for here and for the here and now and in the future, but I wouldn't sign Delap. I would wait until the summer for Osimhen and just play Tel up front when Jackson isn't playing on the left. That's also fair. And when something what Bell said, interested in both, is it interested in both or is it looking at either or either? I'm going to go and read that later to make that make more sense. Maybe someone's already read that article and read that piece and understands it with a little bit more context. And context is often needed in these situations and scenarios. Right, let's have a little look here. Okay, so that's either of them. Okay, well, so they're not even, sorry, I misread when somebody posted that in here earlier, so I hear you on that. Why the hell would Arsenal want Isak? He's scored 3 more than Havertz. Behave with the Arsenal agenda. Why would we need a player up front comparable with him for 100+ million? We need an Henry. Who is that Henry? This is what I would do with this argument. Let's all agree that you're right about Isak. Who's that Henry? Who is that player that you think is a clear distance between the two? And I also think Isak would score more goals in a better team. And that's not a dig at Newcastle United, but I really do think he would. I really do think he would. You got to remember, this guy's got 44 Premier League goals in 70 games for Newcastle. That's brilliant. That really is. This season alone, 15 goals in 22 games is absolutely brilliant. Last season, 21 goals in 30 league appearances last year is excellent. The only thing I would say about Alexander Isak, and maybe he's past that a little bit now, is injuries. I'd say injuries would be a slight concern because he has had a few. And that would be the only reason that I may look at him and go, oh, I don't know if I would invest that amount of money in him, but let's have a little look at his injury record. That might just all be in my head. So since he's been at Newcastle, I mean, he has missed a fair few days. I mean, in the 22-23 season, he missed 106 days. Last season, he missed 54 days. So far this season, he's missed 34 days. So he does have some issues with injuries and the like. But yeah, I think he's a much better player than Kai Havertz. He really is. You know, you are. I mean, you can be serious, but you need to tell me who that player is. Who's that player? I'd love to know. Or maybe you've already said it and I've missed it. I can't see. You haven't said who it is yet. You haven't said who the player is. You need to tell us who the player is, my bro. We need to know who the player is. We really do. Excuse me. Newcastle won't sell their. It's not about. All clubs sell if players want to leave. Typically speaking, you don't want a disgruntled player in the dressing room. It's no good for anybody. We go for a striker. It's all or nothing. Exactly. That's why we haven't got him. I don't understand. I don't understand what that even means. If I'm being completely honest, I'm a bit bemused. I don't know what that means. So there we go. Maybe you will know what it means. Look, I want to thank everyone who's tuned in. I thought I'd do a bit of an impromptu stream when that news came out. We're back tomorrow with more content for you. Until next time, everybody, look after yourselves. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon. Peace.